hi everybody, thank you very much. This is my first presentation at an education conference, so I'm more often used to doing a completely different environment. But really what I wanted to talk about today was something which has been something that's been of significant impact to the teaching team that I was a member of and now I'm a leader of. And so it's something, for me, the metaphorical goose is my colleagues. So it's about working how we actually can work with my colleagues, but actually at the same time recognise the challenging and increasing workloads that they have. And for us, these are quite pertinent, and they've been adding and sequentially adding over the period of time. So the General Medical Council in 2018, new outcomes for graduates. Within there was a new specific learning outcome within there, which is about, within the professional knowledge domain, about applying scientific methods and so on and so on and so on. So there's a bit in there that actually says this is now explicit within our outcomes that we're going to judge you against. Moreover, within the School of Medicine in 2018, we rolled out a revised curriculum, and within the revised curriculum, we removed what we called the student selected component within the first year. And this was a 3-week blank period of time where the students had this opportunity to go off and get involved in academic writing. That period of time got subsumed within other things like anatomy, physiology, histology, and all those other ologies that we work with. But we needed to make sure that we retained that element of scholarship, but also renewed the emphasis on it, link it into contemporary research, and actually drive that through our curriculum. But also, we've got the introduction of a continual assessment modality within our curriculum. Obviously, within the Keele University, Keele graduate attributes, scholarship, academic writing, they're bang up there. I think they're #1 on the list. So absolutely, these are part of communication skills. And so for me, the educational challenge is about how we're supposed to do this, recognising that with this new continuous assessment modality and the emphasis we place on one-to-one interactions between my team and the students, how am I going to get something which used to take up 3 weeks with 2 or 3 meetings with the students and staff and retain quality in the actual experience, but at the same time recognise we can't do that by continually having my staff meeting students all the time. So that's what we were doing. So what's the task? And I won't go over these, but I mean, for me, this is what we actually want the task to do. It's about development of intellectual, communication, organisation, interpersonal, and their academic research skills. These aren't new and novel. They are true for all areas of the university. So I won't go over those. But that was the driver, one of the key drivers that we actually had to get in. But moreover, it's about what are the principles that we're going to apply to this process. And I think what I want to do is just a little bit more time on those principles. So the first was formative feedback. That is when do we emphasise the feedback process? And rather than giving summative feedback at the end of the assessment, if I've got a limited amount of time, where do I use it? Well, I use it where it's most effective and valued by the students. So let's push that emphasis of time into the middle where we actually produce a draft and we produce formative feedback. So let's push that where we're going to do it and align it. Make sure that it's explicitly aligned for the students and for the staff to recognise and enhance the value. Next, student choice. This is important to us. So we wanted to create an opportunity where students could create topics so we create topics that are broad, but allow the students to have that freedom to find out and select something within that which is of particular interest for them. But also, let's align this with our school and university priorities. And so apart from contemporary clinical research, let's get in topics on global health, social inclusion in health, and there is a lot of topics you can talk about in social inclusion in health. Sustainability within health, oh my gosh, that is a big thing that we're dealing with. But as well as that, it's ethics and humanities. And actually, there will be about 20 students this year doing a humanities-based essay as a medical school student at the beginning. So let's manage our time and actually within the staff more effectively. And we do this by a team allocation model. And I'll explain a little bit more about that later. It's not one member of staff, one topic. That's a real problem. You can't manage doing that. The other thing is about appropriately weighing the assessment. I'm a big advocate of formative assessment. The SSC, which this replaced, used to be 10% of your year 1 marks. And because of that, It had to be double marked, and in many cases triple marked to make sure that we could do this. Now, if that's the driver, the one thing that concerned me is they say, well, you can't single mark something because it's, you know, you have to worry about the subjectiveness of that. So, okay, well then let's just not assess it. Let's just not have it as part of the weighting. So we've moved to, within our curriculum, we don't make a decision at the end of year one whether you've passed. What we have is we have 2-year teaching blocks. So phase 1 is years 1 and 2, phase 2 is years 3 and 4. So we actually make a decision about progression into the clinical phase at the end of the second year. So we push all those decisions back to there. So what we've done is we said it's not going to be an assessment that makes an important decision-making step. So it doesn't decide whether you are suitable to progress into the clinical phase. We do not have enough evidence. We do not have the confidence in the validity of that evidence to make an important decision. But what we can do is we can use it to rank students. So students are very keen on understanding where they rank within their cohort. So it gives them, it makes them understand that there is some impact. But at the same time, what we've done is we've allowed ourselves to actually develop an assessment process that actually recognises that this shouldn't contribute heavily towards that, but it should contribute some towards that. And that was actually probably the thing that took the most time to sort out. But also for us, we've got to recognise 40 to 50% of our year students are graduates, so they've had this academic writing experience before, or at least they tell us they have. About 10% have come through the Health Foundation, potentially 10% from overseas as well as our A-level entrants. We've got quite a diverse range of students in terms of their background there. So, the task. First of all, select a topic. Our students already have been given a list of topics, and when they open it up, they see something like this. And this doesn't work too well here, but these are little boxes. So, for example, if you want a topic in global health and something that's contemporary, this would be something for you. It gives you a little, there's a title, but they can change the title. It's up to them. Where are they going with it? There's a background. In this case, it's a bit about artemisinin. It's the drug that was developed for malaria. But also what they get is they get primers. So they're already getting 2 high-quality pieces of research which they're going to use to drive them to actually get to where they want to be in terms of their research. And then the next part is opportunities. Opportunity says these are ways you can take this. You don't have to, but they are ideas about ways you can go. What this allows us to do is have many students take the same subject, but they can go in their own different directions. So we don't worry about them doing the same thing. But also is a team of staff marking it. So I will have a maximum of 6 of these. I contribute to half a dozen, okay? But what happens is that based on who are the different members of the teams, these will get allocated within that team. So that's about that efficient distribution of our resource. The task, I won't go over this. The task is something that you would expect as a short academic writing essay, but it's supported by signposting to library courses, introduction material, writing workshops. It's part of our ACO process, as we're encouraged to do by the university. But also, at this point here, when the students prepare a draft, they do as much as they want or as little as they want. And this is about them understanding that they are responsible for planning and delivering and doing what they want. So they have to take ownership of the project. This is something we're quite keen to engender from an early stage. So, task, delivering the feedback. What we see here is there are 7 domains where we assess them. Within those 7 domains, what we have here is that it says, this is, our staff are told, can you take this text and replace it with your feedback? So they have to feedback directly aligned against what will be the assessment modality. And it gives, and there within that text, it gives them advice on where to actually provide feedback. Then what happens is when the students eventually do return back their written work, exactly the same domains. It's 3 categories because we believe that actually we can remove a lot of the subjectiveness by having broad categories of requires improvement, satisfactory or good, and there's descriptions there to help them understand that. And so actually what we feel there is that we've actually engendered an assessment criteria that's easy for staff to follow. But also, students see every single form before and after they're completed. So there's nothing hidden from the students. They know exactly what it is they need to achieve. Thank you. This is the last slide. But what we also have is we can analyse the output. Here, for example, this is the distribution of the scores from last year. We've identified students that need additional support, and I meet every single one of these and signpost support for them. And as I say, this contributes to their ranking mark. But also I can take these questions and I can look at their performance and how students are working within those, and actually look at the support and advice that we can give around that. But moreover, every single tutor gets back information that tells them how they mark compared to their peers. And this is produced every year, and it's provided to the staff as a written report at the end of the assessment, and we do it's part of our team briefing. So, preparation for the AMRs, for us, it's about providing a bedrock for our students as they develop evidence-based practice. However, we recognise that a lot of the challenges that we face in terms of our level 4 students, in terms of getting on top of those skills and actually having an opportunity to practice them, is true across the whole rest of the university. And we're more than welcome as a team to discuss how this could be applied and rolled out within other parts of the university. Thank you very much.